It's a bit dark on this live stream. The sunshade is drawn. It doesn't seem quite as dark as all the other live streams when the sunshade has been drawn. I suppose that's appropriate to the title. I was saying one thing, reality, a very different truth. In terms of the live stream, the reason is because my phone broke yesterday, the day before. And I have a backup phone that's broken. That's why it's a backup. Use it just literally. And it seems to pick up the light in the dark a bit better. I need to for my own mind, recap exactly where I am, because it's very unpleasant, the situation, the reality of the situation for me. So much so that my mind cannot clearly think, clearly know where it's been for the past too long a time, and but there's a need to recap it for myself. I decided the best way forward for me would be to focus upon the unresolved traumas in my life, because the more honest I become with those unpleasant truths that I've been pushing away and suppressing, the stronger I become ultimately. As much as in the moment it would look anything but that. It's like my body started to go through a physical cleansing when I began the process. It was wanting to throw up and be sick, and I became weak. And that's what it is, it's a cleansing. So if I've been able to get up and move on like I've got all the energy in the world for all of these years because I'm suppressing a truth, it's no surprise to me that I'm becoming honest with that truth. And having lived a life for such a long time, in terms of the energy I have and ability to go about life, there's going to be a slight readjustment of truth that I'm having to work through. And in that, whatever I was having to use for my body to find extra energy, I don't know where I was holding tension or not being honest or whatever else. There's going to be a readjustment and a cleansing will happen. Well, not necessarily, but in my case, it's taking place. And about a day or two after I began that process, I found myself in a place where I couldn't continue that journey anymore because I was already there in the first place because of my mind being broken, in truth. So in other words, because of a mental health disorder. And this mental health disorder was its initiation was a long time before my official mental health disorder began. And my mental health disorder, in the terms I'm speaking of, is a mental health disorder I believe we all have inside, because the truth of the world to a human being and the truths of life, in other words, being honest with myself as much as possible emotionally, to all of those little pains and annoyances that have taken place through my life that I've suppressed. And as I said, I was working through it through the terms of the space, the miraculous space my mental health had given me in not being truthful with the discomfort of the truth. And the discomfort of the truth will tell you everything in terms of your physical body being a problem first. The physical body creates illness through psychosomatic reasoning. What I mean by that is, sorry, I've got a problem with my phone here. I'll continue for now. It seems to still be recording. I don't know if you can see me still. So the body creates illness through psychosomatic reasoning. In other words, when we suppress something, like I said before, if it's really traumatic, just get up and live life and not be honest with that truth in its entirety. You're likely to unconsciously hold tension within your body somewhere, or something within your body as a means to get up and push through that state that would otherwise zap you of all your energy and keep you grounded. Sorry, my mind's just gone blank. So in that moment, what's happening is the mind is going to create an illness down the road somewhere. It's psychosomatic. The mind couldn't deal with an event in life and created a physical reasoning to push through something. Which really would create the possibility of an illness down the road. Now, I'm well aware that through the Qigong practice that I've been taught, that can be remedied. But if we're not being truthful with ourselves in the present moment, that Qigong is going to become the problem, like it has for me over the years, where it's almost traumatic to do Qigong to cleanse the body. Ultimately, with perfect posture, there is no illness in the body. The body will heal itself through perfect functioning. If all the arteries and veins and lymphatic system and everything else, all the organs can function properly because they're just open. The energy circuits are open because the body is in perfect posture. Healing occurs. But to put yourself in that place, it takes a little bit of energy if you're coming from the wrong place. And for myself, that little bit of energy is too much for me at the moment. And it's become traumatizing. But you can pretty much live for a healthy long time with Qigong before it becomes a problem. But ultimately, disease is psychosomatic. Through the suppression of truth, this is my understanding, to the true emotions, each situation creates for a human being. And what I'm talking about is being alive, not finding some pseudo mental understanding to the world that covers up the truth so we can function. I'm talking about being an honest human being to the suffering of the world and how much that would hurt. And dealing with that on that level, it's very difficult, very difficult. It's very difficult. And I was using that space that my mental health had allowed for me all these years to say to myself, right, I'm going to go about this slowly because I have that space and it shouldn't be here. And I feel my way into it and go about it. The best way I know. Tackle it the best way I know. Unfortunately, my mental health decided to take away a lot of that space in a little bit of time that I wasn't able to deal with. And in that place, my mental health entered because I became weak again. I was in control and I was using that space to walk myself back step by step to the speed and to everything else that I required to do it. But when my mental health decided to take away a lot of that space that I had been using all of this time, that it said, here, this is your reality, which wasn't truthful. But in that place, I could see the truth, which is that unresolved trauma. A lot of that space has been taken away, and I'm unable to deal with it again. I find myself in a place that I don't know what to do. I'm able to function to a certain extent, but the truth and the reality of the situation keep telling me to just not do anything. It's like anything I do is going to be playing the same game that I've played all these years, trying to find strength, when really and truly I'm KO'd and don't have energy because I'm not truthful in the first instance. Whenever it was that the first instance happened in my teens, I guess, my childhood, and I began this journey of a lie, thinking I had energy when I don't. Sorry, my pillow's busted open. And I'm not quite sure what to do in the present moment. My mind is racing with thoughts of the world that just don't make sense to me. And my mind is telling me this and that about the world, the other about the world, this and that about my ego, the other about my ego. And none of it is true. Not to what I believe, not to where I am, not to what I'm doing. It's irrelevant to my life. And yet it's too painful in the present moment to work my way through the trauma, because that space has been taken away and I'm unable to deal with the trauma that I'm in at the present moment from that perspective. And the problem in this place at the moment is my mental health, because I hear voices. They can be disruptive or disturbing. I ignore them the best part of the time because I'm focused on something and it's easy. But in this place, as I said, I haven't got air to breathe at the moment. And without air to breathe, they're a bit hard to ignore. And they're disrupting my ability to focus on the truth of the trauma and heal myself. So I'm caught in this sort of cycle of pain, really. And I've been here for a day. And I haven't expressed the situation clearly now for 20 minutes. I have no idea how to get myself out of it. I can't really sit here any much longer. I can't get up and do things, really. And I guess I have to leave the live stream there.